everyone. Welcome back to the Cosmic Circus Review. My name is Vin. My name is Vin. With me, as always, is John. We're ready to go today.
Hello.
I don't know if you saw, but in our last video,
Let's start this over.
I think it's a nice
Hello,
blooper.
everyone.
Hello, everyone.
I am Vin, and with me always is John. Hi.
Hey, guys. I am John. Nice to see you all today.
Goodness. This is an amazing start.
There we go. There we
an
go.
already crazy podcast. Let's go.
We're here today, gathered here today, and to celebrate 28 days later, 28 weeks later, and 28 years later. Please remember to like, subscribe, and follow. Support us on Patreon. $2 a month goes a long way. Supports the channel, supports the work we're doing here. More zombie movies. You'll get exclusive access to the Discord server, mailbag access to ask us.
And it also supports the website. It helps us do content. It helps us go to do cool things. And
more zombie movies.
And if you want to talk to Alex Perez, you can talk to Alex Perez and get a
You can talk to him about zombies.
Yeah, you can talk to him about zombies if you want. I don't know why you would, but if you want to, you could. You could.
We have Marvel Zombies in October.
I mean, hey, yeah, that's the one. That's the one, so that's true. So there you go. You could talk Marvel Zombies with Alex Perez.
There we go.
If you wish.
Zombie time. All right, first, 28 Days Later. 2002, directed by Danny Boyle, written by Alex Garland, starring Cillian Murphy, Naomi Harris, Christopher Eccleston, Megan Burns, Brendan Gleeson. Cinematography, Anthony Dodd Mantle, edited by Chris Gill, music by John Murphy. I said all those names because all of them have such a huge impact on that first movie.
They do.
28 Weeks Later, 2007, directed by Juan Carlos Fresnadillo. Screenplay by, Rowan Joff, Juan Carlos Fresnadillo, E.L. Levine, Jesus Olmo. Starring Robert Carlyle, Jeremy Renner, Imogen Poots, Idris Elba. It was definitely a time. Cinematography by Enrique Chediak, edited by Chris Gill. Same one from the first movie. Music by John Murphy, returning from the first movie.
Yeah.
Then, this week, we have 28 Years Later, 2025, directed by Danny Boyle from the first movie, written by Alex Garland from the first movie, starring Jodie Comer, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Jack O'Connell, Alfie Williams, Ralph Fiennes. They're all fantastic. Cinematography by Anthony Dodd Mantle from the first movie, edited by John Harris, music by
Music done by the Young Fathers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know them?
Nope.
No, that's the name, Young Fathers.
I'm sure they're good. They're a hip-hop group. I'm sure they're probably good, but it's random.
Okay. Oh.
Random.
John Murphy was a little busy with something else coming out this summer.
Superman,
that's right. Yeah, James Gunn snatched him away from 28 Years Later. All right. John, what are these movies about?
Basically, I don't know if you know, Vin, but 28 Days Later was the first movie to bring about the fast zombie.
Really? They created the fast zombie? Wow.
I'm pretty sure they did, because I can't recall that being a thing before 28 Days Later. Because I remember coming out of it going, okay, now they're terrifying. Now zombies are scary. Now they're terrifying.
Yeah, I see that. Wow.
So this is the first one to ever do it. It made zombies come back into the mainstream all over because it is about a virus that gets out that makes people rage out and violent and eat flesh. And it's called the rage virus, I think is what it's called. The rage virus.
That's right.
Yeah. So that's basically the concept. And the first one, it was it started Cillian Murphy. It was all filmed on a camcorder, in an XL1 camcorder. And I adore that film. I think it's great. I don't know if you know this, Ben. I don't know if I ever told you this. This was one of the first press screenings that I ever went to. Not as press, but where they were giving out passes. So this was before the internet became a way to get those. And my friend got a pass through the Eagle, the radio station, the Eagle.
Yeah. Okay.
And I was with a friend in high school. I was like, "Hey, do you want to go see this?" And guess where it was at?
Where?
Web Chapel.
There you go. Best theater.
Web Chapel. So I went there, watched it. Now my friend that I went with, not exactly a like highbrow, like artsy kind of guy.
Okay.
Doesn't really like care, like he would not really a cinephile or anything like
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
And even he came out of 28 days later going, bro, that was good.
Hmm. Hmm.
Even he was like, man, that was good. Um, so that is my history
That's amazing. Getting
with
a
this
ticket from the
franchise.
radio.
From the
Wow.
radio
That's
2002.
that's the real experience. Wow.
Yeah, 2002, like whenever these things like these like passes
Hmm.
to go see a movie before it came out were like unicorns.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
they were very hard to find.
Wow.
And the radio station was there.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
incredible. What a story.
Yeah.
What about 28 weeks later?
Uh, 28 weeks later was a different beast entirely. I didn't go see it in theaters. I did watch it whenever it came home, whenever like it came out.
Hmm.
I heard all the buzz about it because I heard that it was better than people thought it would be.
Okay.
You know, with Danny Boyle exiting, like
Hmm.
there was like this like expectation that there would be a big drop off,
Right.
and I don't think it was a big drop off at all. And it slightly drops, but it's
There
not
is a
big.
drop. We'll talk about it. Yeah.
It's not big, but I will tell you this: as much as I don't remember about that film, it's got one of the most brutal death scenes I've ever seen like in my life.
Which
Like
one are you thinking of?
there's only one in that movie that just completely should like that rock at least that rocked me. When the wife
Mm.
is handcuffed to the bed with the husband slowly turning as
Yeah.
he's locked in there with
Okay.
her,
Yeah.
and he slowly just starts like brutally killing her. Like
Yeah.
it's
That was horrible. And also the fact that you know that she has the cure, that she has some kind of
oh
immunity.
yeah.
And I'm coming out this after like The Last of Us, and I'm like, oh, she has the cure, so they're going to use her blood to save everyone. And then he just slaughters her from
It
a
just
kiss. From a kiss.
and it's heartbreaking.
Incredible scene.
It is
Yeah.
heartbreaking and it's brutal. It's like filled with tragedy.
Yeah.
Filled with tragedy.
Hardcore.
And it's
Yeah.
just like it's like a death on the scale of Game of Thrones. Where it's just like so like
Yeah, like it's so brutal. It's the kind of thing that they would immediately say, "No, no, no, that was just a dream. That was just a nightmare. That didn't really
but it
happen."
was
But
real,
no, the
like it
movie
really
commits to it.
happens.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll get into more detail later. There's so much I actually like about 28 Weeks Later. It's a step down from the first one, but stuff like that, there's a lot of really cool stuff in there.
that's what I'm saying. Like there's things
Yeah,
in there that just stick with you.
yeah,
So it's not a major drop off. And then we go to number three, which is about which takes place I think it's 28 years later after the first. I think.
yeah, yeah. That's right. Yeah.
I think that's implied, but we're with new characters. Focuses on a child
Hmm.
named Spike,
Hmm.
and his father Jamie, played by Aaron Taylor Johnson, and
Hmm.
his mother Isla, who is sick. And basically, he's trying to find a cure for her
Hmm.
in the middle of this terrible thing going on.
Hmm.
Anyway, so there you go.
Okay. My my history is that I've always heard that these are great movies and I should watch them, and I never did until yesterday. Then I binged all three movies in one day. There
That
you go.
the thing is, like, I wonder how that, like, it's going to be an interesting conversation to
Oh yeah,
see how your experience is watching all three at the same time, compared to mine, like
yeah,
me seeing it almost like
and real time.
22,
But you saw it in real time, yeah, when they came out.
yeah, like 22 years ago, and then going from now. Like,
You never
it's going to be
revisited them?
interesting. No, I did not. I did not revisit. Like,
Incredible! Wow,
um,
this is the real contrast here. Wow.
yeah, but like I like the thing is the first film is
Hmm.
a core memory for me because of all that experience.
I got you. Yeah,
So like I remember most of the film.
yeah,
So
yeah. I since high school, I've always heard how great that first movie is, and I sometimes like I think I was just waiting for the right moment to watch it. You know, like I know it's gonna be good. I need the right time. But John, when I watched that first movie, I was blown away. It is
it's
so
amazing.
good. And it's not even like big and huge. It's so simple and so good. It's just you have the monkeys, then you have the virus, then it cuts, and then the whole Earth or like all of Britain. You don't even know how far it is, but it's destroyed. And it's just this guy waking up in a hospital. He wasn't even supposed to like wake up or something. And it's just a normal guy just lost in this London and this barren, empty city, just lost. What a visual! Before
And
COVID.
the brilliant thing about it, because they shot on the camcorder and all that, they gave them a little more budget to do things like that. On top of that, that sequence, they shot that in like before everybody woke up, so they
Mm,
were actually trying to take advantage, like people still being asleep,
yeah,
like to actually get that done. So there's a lot of things that they actually did on the most budget friendly thing imaginable.
yeah,
I was going to tell you
yeah,
also.
yeah.
I think that first film does a similar dynamic
Hmm.
that, and I'm not talking about the modern Nosferatu,
Hmm.
the old Nosferatu,
Hmm.
where it's almost like Danny Boyle understands there's something about the low quality that like injects the horror. That like,
Yeah, absolutely.
you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, especially like even I was just helping you with the banner for your article, right? The cover image,
Yeah.
and I was trying to put this kind of crappy VHS filter on it to try to get that gritty, this ugly like smear on it because that it just adds to it. It adds to the grossness and the fear and the like discomfort that you feel from looking at it. Yeah.
I don't know if it's like discomfort. I think it's something about the way it's shot.
Hmm.
Like, I talk about it in my review, and it kind of works with what the like, not the same, but it kind of works with the new one too.
Yeah.
There's something about shooting in low quality that makes the motion of the zombies more jittery. Like it
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like I don't know what it is, but it just makes their motions look more chaotic, and I
And
can't explain why.
I think
Like,
I think part of it in general is just because when you can see something clearly, it doesn't look as scary. But when the quality is not as good anymore, then
it
it
looks
heightens
frantic.
to the fear. Yeah,
It looks frantic. It looks like bothered.
yeah.
It makes it look more bothered, and
And across these movies, I think the editing is such a huge part
it
of
is.
what worked. And I think this movie has a different editor, but the first two movies have Chris Gill. This new movie has John Harris. But the editing across all three, wow,
Yeah, number
whoa.
three. Okay, well, we're about to move. I think we're about to move into number three, but the editing definitely doesn't lose those step at all in the third one. Like it still maintains like a lot of that dynamic.
Yeah, I don't want to skip ahead too much, but in the credits for this third one, did you sit through the credits a little bit?
I did not. I
Okay.
did
In the
not.
credits, you're watching the normal credits, and then there's like for split seconds, the flashes from the movie.
Oh,
Like
really?
yeah, like just like not even blinking. It's like one frame, just a one frame. It just
Oh, wow! I didn't know that.
it's
I didn't know.
incredible. Like you're looking, it's like subliminal messages. You can really see it when if you're in the theater, you turn around, look at the back of the theater because it's solid black, and then you see the colors flash. All right, before we move on too much, I want to come back to this first one just because I think the story, because yeah, it's a zombie movie, it's super stylish, but I think the reason this first one's my favorite of the trilogy is because of the story and the core of the characters, the core of their emotions, and how they're all strangers. They come from like nothing, and you see like Cillian Murphy get trained, become hardcore and ruthless over the arc of the movie. You see him form relationships and bonds. He creates a family. That his family gets torn apart. Then he's fighting to save his family.
Yeah.
Whoa, what a story! At the end, he's going around in like the rain and the shadows. He's like a freaking Batman. You can see the next year, 2003, he auditioned for Batman. He almost got the role in Batman Begins because of 28 Days Later. This is a superhero movie. It
So,
was incredible.
did you ever did you see the interview with Danny Boyle talking about like why he hired him for that
No, no, no,
role?
no. What did he say?
So it's pretty cool. So like whenever I was like trying to do research for the review,
Hmm.
one of the things he brought up is the fact that like he hired him not just because he's a great actor, but because Cillian Murphy is like in real life, he's that calm of a guy.
Yeah,
Like he's so calm. Like he's like when you talk to Killian, like he's just the most relaxed individual. And then he said he found it fascinating taking a persona like that and pushing him to the point that he almost becomes zombie-like at the end of it. You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
you know.
When the girl thinks he's a zombie, and she's like, "I thought he was biting you," and he's like, "I was kissing her." Yeah. Do you remember that
Yeah,
scene?
yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
do. Yeah, so like that's why he did it, and it's a very inspired choice. And dude, I love Danny Boyle. Like I when he dips his feet in
hmm
genre,
hmm
like genre stories,
hmm
I think it's a lot better than his drama all the time. You know, Danny Boyle is just like he's got such an inspirational like look
Yeah.
into these like little things, and he's always experimenting with them. And I think that's what's so fascinating about even with the 20, like when you look at 28 days later, 28 days,
Hmm.
and then you step into 28 years,
Hmm.
how just the experimentation doesn't stop. Like it
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
keeps going.
And again, to tease a little from 28 years later, the ending shot is like the most Danny Boyle thing. I was like, no other director would have done this at the end of this movie.
wait, which one?
The end of 28 years later.
We will get to that. We will.
Yeah, we'll get to that. I'm like, this is so Danny
No,
Boyle.
no, 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 don't
Sure,
say
we'll spoiler it. Yeah,
it.
yeah, we'll censor it.
Yeah, it's the experimentation of it all that he just Boyle's got like a sensibility. Like nobody could pull it off like him.
Hmm. 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 For sure.
One might even argue that he might not have in the third one, but I still
We'll,
appreciate it.
we'll
Like,
we'll get there. We'll get to the third one for
yeah,
sure.
yeah,
I
for
just
sure.
this first movie. I love the intense genre, the intense adrenaline, the action, fear, horror, romance, heart, humanity. What a blend! And it's
It's an
such a tight
amazing
movie.
film.
It's under 2 hours, and it's just boom, great.
I think one of the best sequences in that movie too,
Hmm.
is like, and it's so heartbreaking because it's so simple,
Hmm.
and it just goes bad
Hmm.
to worse,
Hmm.
and it's with the character that you like, Brendan Gleeson. Like
Yeah,
it is,
yeah, yeah. You know it's gonna happen. You know it's gonna
um,
happen before it happens. It's telegraphed. Like you know it, but you still like no.
it's so much worse than you expect. You're just like,
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
no, oh no.
The whole movie just pivots in that moment because that's when you meet the other Christopher Eccleston's military guys and
Yeah,
that exact same moment and the family is destroyed and that's the whole movie transforms itself in that second half. What a tight
yeah.
script, brilliant.
It,
Yeah,
that's why I think Alex Garland is actually a better screenwriter than he is a filmmaker.
yeah. I remember you bringing this up before. Yeah,
I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's just because he's got more control in the script than he does on like film.
yeah.
But I think he's an amazing writer. I really do. That first film, I think, is just like a masterful horror
Hmm.
film. It's so progressive
Hmm.
and it pushed so many things forward.
Yeah.
And the whole zombie genre went nuts in that time.
Shaun of the Dead, Dawn of the Dead.
So yeah, it brought everything back
Yeah,
because of this
yeah,
film.
yeah.
Video games, like changed. Like it went from like slow zombies in Resident Evil
Hmm.
to like Left 4 Dead, where like you just have the maniac zombies, you're just like trying to kill everything. It's just such an influential such an influential horror film that just stands the test of time over and over again.
Yeah. And of course, Last of Us, but I think 28 Weeks Later is an even bigger influence on Last of Us also.
I don't think the thing is I feel like The Last of Us was more inspired by The Road than it
Okay.
really was like that. I mean, like there's a little bit of 28 days in there,
Mhm.
but I feel I just feel like that's kind of its own thing, kind of its own thing.
Yeah, there is enough DNA, especially because we just had Last of Us season 2. There's
Yeah.
enough DNA, and I googled, and they did confirm, yeah, 28 days was an influence on us. And I think
So,
you can feel that also more with 28 weeks when they introduced the idea of immunity and the cure.
yeah, and I feel like I said I gotta be honest, I barely remember much of that time. And
You
it's
can
not
tell the
even
difference. You can tell
it's
there's 28 days, 28 weeks, and like one of them is in your head, shot for shot, and the other you're like, did that happen? Was that a movie?
it's not even a slight against it's not even a slight against the realm. I remember how it opened. I
Uh-huh.
remember the opening being
Oh,
very
sure, the
breath.
house with the house. Yeah.
I remember the opening being very breathtaking. Like even like the whole like floating above the on chase. I
Yeah.
remember about that shot. I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember the wife's death. I remember Jeremy Renner catching on fire and dying.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Good.
And that's about it. That's
Yeah.
about as much as I
Yeah.
remember. But it's not a slight against the film. It's just
Hmm.
it's not Danny Boyle.
Yeah.
No,
I,
it's
I
supposed
do
to
think that the style of that one is pretty cool. The music is just as good. John Murphy's music is just as good, if not better, than the first one.
And the
But
cinematography is still great in it. It's still
yeah,
good
the
cinematography.
cinematography, the editing, the music, it's all the style is all there, but
Yeah.
the story is just weak. The emotions are so weak. The characters, I didn't care. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, kill them, fine. And the movie's going on. I'm like, wait a minute, it's been an hour. We're not moving on. Like, come on. The movie is just so slow, and I don't know. I don't want to say slow, but it doesn't move. Nothing. It doesn't feel like it's momentum. I don't know what I'm saying, but
I mean, I like I said, it's hard for me to really talk about it because I don't
yeah,
remember. Like,
because I think honestly, there's not much story to remember.
and
You
that's not that's part of
you
it.
remember a couple really vivid moments, but there's no like story to really hook onto.
Well, the thing is, like I said, that wife's death is like it seems it's like singed in my brain. Like I literally
Yeah,
I can't get that part out.
yeah, yeah.
Like I remember thinking that was one of the most horrible things I've ever seen on film. Like
No, another
ever.
really horrible scene from this movie. There's a couple that just awful, brutal
Brutal,
scenes.
yeah.
Like I think this is maybe the most hardcore of all of them. There's if you remember when they figure out that there's a zombie and all the people start evacuating. Then the zombies and the people like get mixed up. They can't tell who's who. They say it's out of control, and they say execute them all, shoot everyone. And then people are running, and their job is shoot
Yeah.
everybody, even the civilians, even the God. That was so hard to watch in 2025.
I vaguely remember that, yeah.
That's just one of the most horrible things I've ever seen in a movie.
But then let's
Yeah,
get to the main attraction. Like,
you're done. You're done with
yeah,
28 weeks. Okay.
people want to know. No, I mean, I'm just saying, we've been talking about these for a little bit.
Uh
I know what people are here for. You know what people are here for.
huh.
They want to know about 28 years later.
Uh huh.
They want to know what we think about 28 years later.
Uh huh.
Chances are, if they clicked on this review, they've probably seen those films before. I bet.
Do you want to
No,
tease a little bit about the story or no?
I think I did. I think I've already set up the
Okay.
story. So, but
Okay.
I'll go
That's
through
right.
it.
You did. You did. Yeah.
I'll go through it just a little bit. So, it's about a family that lives on an island,
Hmm. Hmm.
separate from the mainland. Like
Hmm.
it's a son, a mother, and a father. The mother's
Hmm.
sick. The father, he's, you know, he means well, but you could tell he's kind of distant
Hmm.
because of trying to care for his wife. And that kind of creates a little distrust between him
Hmm.
and the kid. There's just a little bit of friction there. And then they go
But
off.
but you can tell that he really loves the kid too. That's what
He
makes it such a
does. He
complicated
does.
modern relationship. Yeah.
He does care for the kid. Like, I think he actually cares for the wife too. It's just
Yeah,
hard.
definitely. Yeah,
It's
it's a
just
tough
hard.
situation.
It's
Yeah.
a very tough situation. Then so I'm gonna get so basically, he goes with the mom. The kid goes with the mom to go get help, and
Hmm.
that is the central conflict in the film, trying to get his mom help. Now,
One thing I want to say, I noticed that all three movies are like adventure quests. That it's people traveling across an area to go accomplish a goal. Right. All three. Yeah.
well, I'll give my big impression of all
Hmm.
this before we get into spoilers. I think this is a really good Guillermo del Toro story in a 28 and a Danny Boyle film.
Okay.
This is way more lighthearted than all of them in
Okay.
tone. Like it's more innocent.
Okay. Yeah.
Like
It's a
it's,
kid's
it's,
point of view. Yeah. Well.
it's got violent things in it.
Hmm.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, like there's somebody who gets their spine ripped out. It's like there's violent things in it, but it's not as brutally depicted as the other films. It doesn't feel as aggressive as the other films.
Hmm.
It's also more humorous than the other films, and it's the one thing that I always like about Guillermo del Toro. Whether it's like Ian's Labyrinth or what is it? There was another one before that about like a child and a ghost.
Chronos.
Um, so what?
Chronos. Devil's Backbone.
No, Devil's Background. Devil's
Hmm.
Background.
Hmm.
Not Chronos. But he's got a way of like showing the way children see the world in terror. Like
Hmm.
that's the one thing that I've always loved about Del Toro's like early work is he loved to look at the innocent side of horror. And I think this is very much in that vein where you're on the kid's perspective this entire run. It's also a little goofy. Like, I mean, dude, a bunch of yeah. I mean, it's in the trailer. a bunch of kids get murdered while watching Teletubbies. I mean, that's the most like silly. It's so
Mhm,
sillier than the other films.
mhm,
A preacher in this movie, and it's not a spoiler. I'm sorry, it's in the trailer. You can go see it in the trailer. A preacher gets murdered by zombies while screaming, "Yes, my children!" That is the most Del Toro-like instinct I've ever seen in a Danny Boyle film. It's a little comical,
mhm,
but it's got that grounded like look.
mhm,
Um, I'm trying to think of what else. The zombies
mhm.
are even like different. Like it's
Yeah, they
I
introduced different types of zombies. In my opinion, that makes sense because it's 28 years later. Things have evolved. Things have changed. The zombies have like almost a
it
societal
makes
structure now.
sense. It makes sense. Like they're treated like animals per se. Like not like they're
Mhm.
they're more like wild boar or like
I, I,
bears
I,
and
I
fish.
enjoyed seeing Aaron Taylor Johnson play an actual Craven the Hunter.
Yeah, yeah.
This is the Craven the Hunter movie that he was supposed to make.
And that's what it is. Like it's like
Yeah,
you know, the animal like the zombies have evolved. They're more like caveman like creatures and feral. They're more feral. That's the best term to put
sure,
it.
sure.
They're more feral in here, and I mean, there's a surprise character in this, and I won't say who it is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you've seen enough
That,
footage,
that, yeah, yeah.
you'll know. But like, even that character is slightly comical.
Mm-hmm.
Slightly comical. So the movie is more lighthearted, a
Mm-hmm.
little more playful, a little more innocent.
Mm-hmm.
It's still brutal, it's still a little bleak, but it is surprisingly different. I find it refreshing. There are going to be people that hate this movie. There are absolutely people that are going to hate this movie,
I think so, but
and I'm not shocked.
I think it's still better than 28 Weeks Later.
Oh,
In
it is better
general,
than Killing
yeah.
Weeks.
In general, I really enjoyed this. I thought it was great. I put a little short video up, I think last night when I was walking out of the movie. Like you said, I think there's a kind of like beauty and soul to this that even the first movie didn't have, especially in scenes where the scene without spoilers where there's the Tower of Bones. That's such a beautiful scene. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's in the
Wow.
poster,
Yeah.
the bones,
Yeah.
the
But the
skulls.
scene, what happens with the Tower of Bones? Wow. That like
That
moves you. Yeah.
actually the iconography of this movie,
It's
like in the
really
posters, those
yeah.
skulls. So
But the meaning of it and what they do with that in the movie, there's like deeper like philosophical thoughts in this movie. There's actual like discussions. It's amazing. You see so many points of view about the zombies, about humanity, about how we treat the zombies. Um, One of them is called Samson, and the reason why he's and the whole story, that connection there, it means something. The relationship is there.
and again,
Uh,
I think that's going to be a divisive choice. The fact that they like humanize some of
well,
these things.
some
No.
characters
I'm okay
humanized,
with
and
it.
some characters, yeah.
I'm okay with it. It
Mhm,
works for me, but I'm fully expecting people to like be divided on some of this
mhm.
because like, they're probably going in it like because again, you were able to watch all three back to back and probably
Yeah,
be like able to get this all in one take.
yeah.
There are people that have been sitting with the first two for like many years.
Hmm.
So imagine like sitting on those first two for
Hmm.
20 years and all of a sudden you get the things that this movie gives you now.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be controversial. I'm sure people will be yelling at the
It's
screen.
gonna be jarring. It's gonna
But
be
I
jarring.
think I think in my opinion, it is justified that it's been 28 years later. It
It
makes sense
worked.
that things aren't going to be the same as they were 28 years ago. I think that does make sense. Society is different. Hmm.
Additionally, that's gonna be divisive. Is that randomly, I'm not gonna say what we almost spoiled it earlier, but out of nowhere, this movie just turns into an Edgar Wright film. Out of nowhere in the last 2 minutes.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The ending is nuts, and I honestly, without this ending, I think it's a better movie.
Yeah.
However, this ending is so Danny Boyle. I don't think he would ever cut it.
I don't even know if this is Danny Boyle.
It feels very to me. It felt like, oh yeah, this is the guy who did Trainspotting. I get it.
It feels. I was sitting there watching it, going, "Did Edgar Wright just take over directing this movie?" It's like out of nowhere, it turns
Uh,
into Shaun of the Dead, like randomly. I'm like,
yeah.
it was
And
funny.
I think that's the part that really hurts this movie the most is that the fact that it's the beginning of potentially a trilogy, They've already filmed part 2 with Nia DaCosta, and they're planning hopefully for a part 3. And I think that ending, because the first 2 movies are both standalone. It's a great standalone story. This is the first 28 movie where at the ending is like what, and then it cuts, and you're left wondering, and it doesn't even say to be continued. It is essential information to know that this is the part 1. If you didn't tell me before this movie that this is a part 1, you told me that I think 3 times. If you didn't tell me before this movie, I think I would have given it 2 stars and said, "What the is this?"
Yeah, so to be clear, if you have not seen the film, I'm going to tell you what I told Vin. So I saw the film on Tuesday. Vin saw it yesterday.
Yeah.
I came out of the film on Tuesday and I told Vin, bro, just so you know, I just got told this is a 2-part story.
Yeah.
And I was wrong on that.
Yeah.
And I was
we
wrong
found
on
out
that.
it's going to be 3 parts. Yeah.
That's probably going to be 3 parts of number 2 as well.
Yeah.
So,
and I remember when you told me that too, I was like, John, don't spoil the ending for me. I don't want to know that it's part 1 of 2. You have to know. It is essential information to know.
Yeah,
it doesn't even say to be continued, but you have to know to be continued.
That's why I told you, because if you don't, you walk out. And so I think it will make people upset.
Yeah, I mean, there's already a couple things in this movie that I think are kind of frustrating or stupid. That I'm surprised you're not already yelling about some of them. But it works until the end, and then the end is a little bit set up, but it's still shocking. I want to continue with some positive. Yeah.
So I will say this too. I think the music is not as good as it really suffers. It suffers without John Murphy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's good. It's good, but not as good at all.
It's not good without John Murphy. I also miss the camcorder. They used iPhones on this, which is
I found that out later. Yeah.
Which is not bad. It doesn't look bad, but I was like, I really miss the camcorder. I want the camcorder back.
They still do some experimental things with the cinematography. They still have some scenes where it's intentionally like kind of crappy quality. But I think it almost makes sense because it is 28 years later. It's going to look a little sharper. The biggest jump for me was going from 28 days to weeks, because 28 weeks later feels like such a Hollywood Americanized movie. And I just felt like it lost, like it was glossy, and it felt like it just lost all the grime and dirt from that first movie.
Yeah.
So that was the bigger jump. Of coming to 28 years, I was like, okay, yeah, I expect this. But 28 days to 28 weeks, I thought that lost a lot in the cinematography. Just the way the camera.
I agree, but I'm just meaning like if we're looking at the Danny Boyle like transition.
Sure, yeah.
Because for me, I don't think of these in terms of like weeks to days or like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm looking at this like Danny Boyle returned to his own franchise.
Yeah, I know.
When I look at it like that, I'm thinking like, I just miss that first way that he did it. I think it looked so much like it just looked. I don't know. It's funny because when I first watched it in 2002, I remember going, I don't know if I like this. I don't know if I like this.
Of course, it's a choice. Yeah.
And then like an hour into it, I'm like, no, I like this. I like this a lot.
It adds so much to the movie. It really does.
Yeah. But I don't think the choice he made in this one with the iPhones is as strong. I mean, it's certainly a choice. I think he was doing it to show that people can do it, but I just don't think it's as strong as number one. The way
I didn't even know it was filmed on an iPhone. I thought it was just a normal camera. Then I came out and my friend was like, "What'd you think of the iPhone footage?" I'm like, "I didn't even know it was iPhone. I thought it was just a movie."
Yeah, I thought it was fine. But I won't say that the cinematography is still great. It's still great.
Especially the editing. The editing is great in this movie.
Like there's different shots where they're walking through like fields and valleys and stuff that just it's the greens for me that just made me like just I'm like, man, I don't even care if a zombie shows up, bro. I could just
such a beautiful movie. It's so beautiful.
And so beautiful. Like, even the way the Tower of Skulls look, it looks
Yeah. I really liked this movie. I'm surprised you're not yelling yet about some of the weird decisions, but like the whole plot.
I like weird. That's the thing about it, then. Like, so the one thing, and I'm going to bring up a movie that I didn't like this week, F1. The one thing that I appreciate a risky, weird choice
Hmm.
over the
Sure,
absolute safest
sure, sure,
possible
sure.
cliche decision that you could make in a movie, which
Hmm.
F1 makes continually for 2 hours.
Are you
This,
surprised?
yeah, a little bit, yeah. I
Oh.
mean, Top Gun was amazing, same director. I think that movie was highly ambitious. I'm not gonna go fully into it. My point
Hmm.
is that
Hmm.
I'll take a risky, weird decision any day over the safest cliche in the world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And that's something I really laud about this movie is that it actually does do weird things, take weird risks, and when the characters make stupid decisions, they have consequences. There's a few spots that I was frustrated by. The kid makes a decision with the mom that's crucial to the whole movie. If the whole plot is based on this decision the kid makes, and then I felt it was too safe. When they're on their little quest, there's almost no danger, and sometimes there is danger, and that's part of the story. But it was a lot safer than I expected it to be. Sometimes,
But
yeah,
that's why I tell you that the movie's got less teeth as far
a
as
little bit, yeah, a little bit.
brutality. It's not as brutal, and I don't think it's to make the safe choice. I think it's because either Danny Boyle's a lot older now too. He's coming at it from an innocent perspective. Like that's the entire
Mm-hmm.
film, even though it's in a zombie apocalypse,
Mm-hmm.
is bathing in naive optimism.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think a lot of that comes from the kid's point of view. 28 weeks later is also from a kid's point of view, but you're also with the girl who's like 19 in that movie,
not the
and
same, not the same,
it's not the same at all. Yeah, this
not
is
the
from
same.
a 12-year-old's perspective, and you're
Yeah,
seeing him explore and see the world for the first time, and that you are so in his point of view. Alfie Williams is so good in this
he's
movie.
so good in the
He's the
movie. Yeah,
star of this movie.
he's
Um,
very good in the movie.
I mean, I think Jodie Comer has the top billing. Great, good for her. But Alfie Williams is like down the list. But that kid is this movie. He is
I,
so good.
I think this is actually one of Jodie Comer's best. I
She was
think she,
fantastic in it.
yeah, I
She was
think she's
so good.
fantastic in it. Yeah.
I'm most excited to see her character, and how people react to her character. I liked her character.
It's a
I
great
don't want
role.
to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a great role. It's a great role. But yeah, I mean, like, I think that's where it's coming from. I think it's not that it's playing it safe. I think it's just, this is a story about a kid. I don't know if the movie would survive if, like, one of these people, there's only two of them roaming around this, like, mainland. If one of them, like, gets 28 weeks later than this movie, I don't know if the movie survives that. I really don't.
Hmm.
For what it's going for, I don't know if it would have worked. If out of nowhere, like just the mom just gets like, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like that scene in 28 Weeks Later.
Hmm. Hmm.
I don't know if this story would survive that. I
No,
really,
yeah. I mean,
I,
that's realistic for what would happen. But then your whole story falls apart. The script falls apart.
I just don't know if it survives that for this purpose.
Now, John, tell me, are you ready for a trilogy of these? Does this movie inspire you? Are you excited for two more? Do you think they have the energy?
I'm curious. I'm actually curious. Based on that bonkers ending,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm
yeah.
curious. Like, I mean, the only thing that makes me go is that it's Nita Costa.
Which is nothing against her, I think, but it's we're just nervous when they change the directors.
She hasn't shown me anything so far that really is
Hmm.
like that and gives me a lot of like hope that it's
Yeah,
going to live up to
yeah,
Danny
yeah,
Boyle.
yeah. Did you see Candyman?
I did see it. It
Okay,
was fun.
I, I haven't seen it, but that was my impression.
It was fun. Like
The Marvels, the Marvels was okay too, but I don't see how that translates to this.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not saying she's a bad filmmaker. I'm not implying that. I'm simply saying I have not seen anything that's inspired me to think
yeah.
that she can live up to Danny Boyle. I
Yeah,
can't.
no, I definitely agree. I don't. I'm also. I think there's some filmmakers they could have picked, and it would have been like a match made in heaven. And with her, we're just kind of like, what's the vision?
Yeah.
I don't see the vision. Not
Um.
that I'm sure there might be, but I don't. I want to
Now,
see more.
what I do understand from Danny Boyle, based on the interview I saw, the Marvels was not really entirely her fault,
Right.
and that she was making a movie for Marvel.
Yeah.
She wasn't making a movie for her.
Right.
So he says she's got complete creative freedom in this movie.
Oh, interesting.
So whatever happens with 28 days, 28 weeks later, the Bone Temple,
Hmm.
um, That's the name of the movie right now.
Hmm.
Whatever happens with that, we won't know where she stands as a filmmaker on that.
Yeah. And then, do you want Danny Boyle? Is he confirmed to return for the third one, or
I
do you want
don't
someone
know.
different? Or
I don't know what's funny in the interview that I read.
hmm.
Yes, like I said, I didn't realize it was a three until I read that interview.
Hmm.
He says, I think I just got a text message telling me whether we got financing on the third one or not.
Hmm.
So I guess to be determined
Okay.
if he's going to do it or not. So
Interesting. Um, I'm just a little bit nervous if she has complete creative control, but then you have the same director for 1 and 3. I'm a little worried this could be like Force Awakens, Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker, but it can't be that. Whatever she does in the second one, he'll have to add to that and not undo it in the third
well,
one.
it's still written by Alex Garland. He's still
Oh, it is.
writing.
Okay, I
Yes.
didn't know. Okay,
Yeah, it's still written by Alex Garland.
okay,
So no
I feel
matter
much better then if it's a consistent writer across the three.
yeah, so no matter what, it's still going to be his story.
Yeah.
But
Do you think Alex Garland should have directed the next one?
I wouldn't be shocked if he's doing number three.
Ah,
Honestly,
interesting. Interesting.
I
Okay.
wouldn't be shocked. I don't know if he will,
Hmm.
but it's possible.
That would be
It's
interesting.
absolutely
Yeah.
possible. Should
Yeah.
we move into spoilers?
Sure, sure. Go ahead. First of all, it goes all the way back to this. I think the kid leaving with the mom was really stupid. Like this boy has left society once in his life, and then the very next day he gets mad at his dad. He takes his mom and he goes out and he's like, "I will save her." And
And naive optimism, like I said,
but
naive optimism.
it's such a kid thing to do that you're like, of course the kid would do this, but also it's stupid. But also
No,
you get it.
the movie sold me on it though. Like I was like, you know, yeah, it is a very dumb decision, but he's 12.
And I want to remind you, the day before he did that, the Alpha chased them to their door. They killed the
I
Alpha.
don't know.
And I was waiting for the repercussions of that. For example, what if then his whole society chases after them and is waiting, and then when they come out and decide, like, I don't understand how they survived like an hour with just a dumb kid who can't shoot an arrow properly and this mom who doesn't know what's going on. Like, I thought they should have died
Um,
like so fast. That's
well,
my,
I
that's,
mean,
yeah.
technically they do almost die. Like there's one part of it where they literally almost do. On
Even
the train,
sooner than that. Yeah.
on the train.
Yeah, I know, but I was expecting them to die, and also the gas station.
I mean, like straight up, that entire sequence of that soldier is like one of the best parts
Yeah.
of the film, I think.
What I'm
Like,
saying is, they had like a whole Lord of the Rings quest before that, and so I was expecting that to happen a little bit sooner before we see
yeah,
them journeying across the scenic wasteland, Wonderland, and
that didn't
yeah.
really bother me because like it implies at the start, when he's with his father acts genuinely surprised
Hmm.
to see the Alpha. So it didn't really sound like it's something that he ran into often whenever it happened. Because like whenever they run into him, um Aaron Taylor Johnson has a very shocked look that they are gonna cross them in that moment. Remember that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like he didn't really seem like maybe I'm wrong, but it didn't really
No,
seem like he like
he wasn't expecting them at all. Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know if that is a correct analysis on that. So
Okay, interesting.
the,
And
the,
in fact, I'm wondering now. I think in the next movie we'll see some things from the Jimmy's point of view. For example, if you remember, there's the shack, and you see the guy hanging upside down, and you see something's written on his chest. Do you remember that? It's Jimmy. Jimmy is written on his chest.
oh, I know. I
Yeah,
remember all
and so
that.
I think we're going to see scenes like this that there's more to the story in part one that we haven't seen. And we're going to see. I think probably we'll see an explanation at least from the Jimmy's point of view.
I'm guessing. My guess is that they're gonna go full like The Last of Us with it,
Okay.
where like number one is like, well, when The Last of Us season 2 is about like
Mhm. It's Ellie's point of view. Then season three will be Abby's point of view.
will be Abby's. Like
Yeah,
my guess is that like number 2 is gonna be from Jimmy's point of view. I bet.
yeah. That's what I'm suggesting. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're on the same page. We're on the same.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Do you care about the Jimmies? What is your thought on the Jimmies? Did you see their names in the credits?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm intrigued, man. I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued. Like the thing that just like caught me off guard is the
Hmm.
fact that we're in this like desolate, zombie, bleak, weird wasteland, and then all of a sudden these like random, like I don't know how you would call them, proxy mafia looking bozos
Hmm. Straight out of
pop up out of
Hawkeye. Yeah,
nowhere
yeah.
looking like they've had a bath and like just clean
They
as
look
a
pretty
whistle.
clean. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
and they just look sparkly as can be. And they start doing the most random
mhm.
martial art moves, and like I'm like, dude, what? It felt like an entirely different movie.
Yeah, it was
Like,
really bizarre, and I did not like it in the moment. But now I'm just a little curious about part two. But I don't think it's a good end to the movie.
you know what I'm
Um,
saying? It feels like an
yeah, of course.
entirely different film.
Yeah,
And
like
I'm like,
the movie is set up to end in such a powerful way, and he has his arrow, and he's like mature, and it's a coming of age story, and then the Jimmies show up like Jawas or something,
and,
and you're like, what
and it
is this?
goes full Monty Python out of nowhere. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
what?
So I want to read the name of the Jimmies. There's the leader, Sir Jimmy Crystal. Then there's Jimmy Ink, Jemima, Jimmy Jones, Jimmy Fox, Jimmy, Jimmy Shites, and Jimmy Snake. What are we doing here?
Then here's the thing about it. I gotta tell you this. I gotta tell you this now.
Uh-huh.
Part two wasn't my most anticipated film. Now that I got that knowledge,
Uh-huh.
it's not my most anticipated film.
I'm surprised there isn't one called Jiminy Cricket. That would have been great. Uh, but also, what's interesting is the first movie wasn't his name Jim Killian Murphy. His name was Jim, but that's just
um,
a total coincidence.
I think it is,
It
yeah.
is. It's Jim in
It
the first
is.
movie.
And he will be in part two, by the way.
Yeah, which is crazy. So ah, I'm really interested to see what the heck is going on here. You're gonna have Jim and Jimmy, and
I'm excited. This is
yeah,
now my most anticipated film of all time.
Jim, Jimmy, and
Now,
Jemima.
now
The
that
new
I
Ed,
know
Ed,
this
and Eddie.
information,
Yeah,
I'm all for it. I'm like, man, whatever this weird crap is, bring it to me.
yeah.
But I do believe that there's going to be a lot of people that hate it. I think a lot of people are not going to be very happy
Hmm.
with the complete ownership
Yeah.
of everything.
Definitely. I think it's good, but with an asterisk, right? But I just
Yeah.
got to say, like, binging all three movies, what an experience! I love these movies; they're great, and especially that first one. I think it's pure perfection. I love that first movie now.
Nothing has topped the first one. Nothing
No,
has.
but I appreciate that. I don't think they're even trying to, but they're giving us different stories in this world. Like it feels like it's a whole universe. Like, and they're just exploring different little pockets. Oh, one more interesting thing. The end of 28 weeks later, the virus comes to Europe. The movie ends with them in France, and the virus is spreading in France. And the
Mm,
idea is like Jurassic Park, that now like the dinosaurs have escaped the park, it's going to take over the world. Then
yeah.
28 years later, it does like the dead speak, like a Palpatine thing at the beginning, and it says the virus hit Europe and was pushed back. It's like, never mind what happened at the end of the last movie. It doesn't matter. Don't worry about it.
I will say this before we get off. There's one thing that I thought about when I was writing the review.
Hmm.
And I didn't even realize that they put it in the trailer. But there's a little section in this film that I really love
Hmm.
that's also utilized in the trailer. And it's a poem that's spoken by somebody
Yeah,
named Taylor Holmes called Boots. It is awesome. It's mechanized, part of this film, and I think it's incredibly effective.
yeah,
Incredibly effective. And it probably one of my favorite parts of the movie.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
like when they're entering the mainland, and it's just going boots, boots, up and down. Like, oh man,
Yeah.
there's
Very. It's a good movie, man. Yeah,
something incredibly haunting about the way that poem is spoken. Like,
yeah. But it has like a momentum. It has a drive forward, forward, forward. But it's scary. It's still scary.
it's
Yeah.
scary. Yeah, it's very scary. Like, and do you know anything about that poem by word?
No, no, I don't. But
So
I can.
so it's written by Rudyard Kipling.
Mhm.
And it's
That's right. Yeah.
and it's based on the war, like an 1800s war.
Mhm.
And it's basically trying to communicate the anxiety and the fear of that march.
Yeah.
How the marching creates anxiety when you hear it over and
Mhm.
over
Mhm. That
and over.
momentum. Yeah.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
the repetitive thing almost feeling like a psyop. And just
Yeah.
oh man, it's so good. Anyway, that's
Right.
all I got. I wanted to talk about that real quick.
Yeah. I'm so glad we had this because it's a lot to talk about, these three movies, and they're not just zombie movies, but there's actually like something really deep and interesting, not just in like the story and the emotions and the characters, but even the filmmaking with the camera, with the editing, with the music. Yeah. Fantastic. What a great sequence of movies. So I'm excited for the next couple ones. Mm-hmm.
It is a weird Danny Boyle movie, and I love it for it. And that's I don't care if people are divisive about it. It takes a lot of chances, and I dig it. So
we've been very respectful with spoilers. Like even what we've talked about, there's still so many surprises in this movie we haven't really even touched on.
I don't even think we really even got to talk about the Office.
No, we don't have to. We don't have to. Because I want people, because people will watch this video without watching the movie probably, and I want them to go in blind. Like we went in totally blind, knowing nothing, and great, just great. Like there's stuff in this movie that will surprise you, and it's good. Yep. Good, man.
Anyway, one more thing. Ralph Fiennes, amazing in this film.
Very, 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 very good. Very good.
That's all I want to say. Okay, that's it. All right.
I didn't even, when I saw the poster, let me tell you, John, I knew nothing. I knew absolutely nothing. I looked at the poster and I was like, oh, look, there's Vinnie Jones and it's Aragorn and Jodie Comer. That's what I thought I saw in the poster, knowing nothing. I was like, wow, they got Aragorn.
Oh my gosh.
And then Vinnie Jones.
Vinnie Jones? You thought it was Vinnie Jones?
Am I crazy? You can see it.
I mean, like now that you say it, kind of. But
just in the movie theater, I'm like walking past on my way, and I'm like, oh hey, let's see.
Oh my gosh. Anyway,
all right. Thank you everyone for watching, coming along for another wild ride. If you enjoyed our discussion, be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment below. Are you excited for the next 28 years? Let us know in the comments. I'm Vin. You can find me on Blue Sky at VinRed's Words.
I am John, and you can find me at John Movie Watch on Blue Sky. Please subscribe to us. We're almost at 1,000 followers. That's
wow! And watch. We need the watch hours. Watch. Be sure to follow the CosmicCircus.com on Blue Sky at My Cosmic Circus, where you can find more reviews, articles, editorials, and opinions like the ones you just watched. John just wrote his review of the movie. Go check it out. Thanks, everyone. See you next time. Thanks for Patreon. Bye.
Bye.
And special thanks to our Patreon supporters. If you'd like to see even more videos and extended content, please subscribe at the link in the description.
Thank you.